Day everyone. Another thing that I'm going to tackle and share to the majority of the people around are those concepts related to the previous one. One of these principles is integrity. Basic to a sound moral character, which we discussed last time, is one vital ingredient known as integrity. Integrity has been called foolproof for formula for success. Foolproof formula for success. It is an appropriate description of leadership. A school official who possesses integrity will never use his authority to abuse, humiliate, and degrade his subordinates. He will never use the powers of his office to exploit teacher applicants by making them come across with some form of compensation in return for their appointment to teaching positions. He will never resort to trickery and deception in his official actuations in relation to teachers and associates. Indeed, integrity is fundamental to a sound moral character. And a sound moral character is the key to effective educational administration. Now, there are some leadership qualities that has to be emphasized, recognized as we go on. Leadership is sometimes viewed as administrators' most valuable asset. The lack of it spells the difference between effectiveness and ineffectiveness on the part of those who occupy administrative and supervisory positions. In affirmation of this statement, a 6-year study of principals conducted at the University of Florida revealed that one factor of greatest significance in differentiating between effective and not so effective principles was leadership behavior. The study also indicated that the principal's effectiveness can be increased by professional education. Since the Philippine educational system is committed to democratic values and processes, it is essential that we should have school administrators and supervisors who are attuned to democracy. This leads us to the question, what is a democratic leader? Ross and Henry have made an analysis of what is a democratic leader must be. They contend that such a leader must be outstanding, considerate, intelligent, emotionally stable, empathic, a member of the group, enthusiastic, confident, genial, cheerful, consistent, and able to share the leadership role. Okay. Stan Drummond and Goodlad emphasize the we concept. They say that a democratic leader works with a group instead of telling, driving, or coercing others to accept his will. He brings people together and works with them in planning the things to do and how to carry them out. Okay, some other studies analyzed the two foregoing studies and came to the conclusion that there seem to be two basic elements in the definition of democratic leader. What he is: personal equipment, personality, character, and competence, and what he does, performance and leadership behaviors. They offer the following statement about what a democratic leader should be. The democratic leader should possess the personal qualification of a good leader. He has the energy, intelligence, character, emotional stability, patience, and empathy, enthusiasm, a sense of humor, confidence, competence, and considerateness. All of which make it possible for him to work effectively with others. He should be a person who feels compassion and responsibility for assisting a group to reach goals, some defined by the group and some defined for the group. He should be a person who recognizes intelligence within the group and from outside the group. That can be brought to bear on the solution of the problems that will produce ultimately better results than he can devise through the use of his own intelligence and efforts alone. He should be a person who can make perceptive delegations or responsibilities to members of the group, provide the resources and condition for good group activity, motivates and encourages the group to recognize achievements and give credit for contribution of the group members and the group which are in any way responsible for success. And last but not the least, he should be a person who has utilized group intelligences and the group process, while at the same time accept personal responsibility for the progress and the group towards its goals. Now, this statement aptly describes the leadership behavior of an effective principal. It may well be applied to any other school administrators and supervisors as it may be deemed necessary. So thank you for this hearing, and it might be somewhat a replacement concept for those who are in the right position right now.